is ridiculous, in my opinion. If it's supposed to be in your coverage and the doctor says, hey,
Joe.
you need it, insurance, you jerks. What?
Joe, look down. You're standing on a soapbox, bud. Let's bring it back
know.
to
I'm
how do you play
sorry.
for
I'm sorry.
because that's my soapbox too. It's just hilarious.
How do I?
Okay. Go ahead, Joe. I see you. And,
You put in this one.
Yes.
How do I plan for my health? Now, how are you wanting to go with this one?
This is one of the ones. So we do have a big list of auto-generated kind of how do I's from where I scoured the internet for basic icebreaker questions, those kind of things. And this is one of those. But it does so happen to come when a couple of things are going on in life right now. I did find a way to get on some therapy, and there's a great thing called Open Path that if you don't have a ton of income or under a certain amount or whatever, then you pay them a one-time membership fee, and then they help you get discounted rates. And I don't mean help. Help even sounds like, although try no, it's literally, hey, here's the all the different therapists. It's not just psychotherapists, it's psychologists and other things. Here's here's their bios, here's everything, and here's the rate that you'll pay. So you know ahead of time what to do. And they can be in the area where you live, so you can go there live or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But without that, therapy would not be happening right now because it can be very expensive.
Yep.
On top of that, I'll be 50 in 2 years, which I keep losing track because time is arbitrary. I don't really care. My wife's like, well, you should get checked. I'm like, for what?
All
like,
the things.
She's like, well, your process. I'm like, no. I knew what you meant. I meant why? Because what if they find something? We have no money to take care of it. Period. Well, if they don't find something, but that's how doctors are. They want you to keep doing. Okay. Right now, ignorance is not just bliss. It's less stress on the finances is what it is. And then we're even talking about like
male mentality when it comes to health.
But it's like, but the reality is, like, we had a bump with making a car payment to where something didn't show right on the internet, so she called the place, and they should have looked and seen it. They messed something up, whatever. Ultimately, they charged us twice, and they immediately are refunding it. But we have to wait for that. We're just kind of at that point where we have to wait for the refund to write the rent check. Fortunately, I mean, it's my father-in-law, right? It's not a huge, but it's like it had been anywhere else, we'd be in crisis mode right now.
Yeah.
So that's, it might be a little bit of a male mentality, but it's quite a literal mentality of, great, you think I'm going to not put food on the table just because I'm dying of prostate cancer? I don't know. So, Joe, kind of like that, I mean, you have some insurance. It's not a have or have nots thing, but, like, how do you plan? How do you work it? What do you look for in your plans? I pretty much don't work jobs that have insurance offerings. And also, I really don't like that in some cases, I get a huge amount taken out of my paycheck and I still have to pay extra amounts at a doctor's office. Like, look, I can tell you straight up. Now, I haven't tried to go get, I'm not gonna, but I haven't tried to go just call and see what a prostate exam would cost, but I could pay it, I'm sure, in cash.
Yeah.
That's why I don't really care for insurance, but I can see where, hey, I wouldn't mind trying some GLP-1s. Everybody makes them look so good on the news and stuff. Like, everybody's on GLP-1s. So let's do that. Costly, right? Things like that. So, Joe, how do I plan? Is I scratch dirt and spit on it and it'll be fine.
So what I've done the whole time that I've been working where I'm working, because we've got decent insurance. I
would hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't expect that you'd have the like top of the line premiums, but
so that they actually expanded it to offer an even worse offering this year.
Don't you love that?
Well, so they were hiking up the premiums, and so they made a worse one that was basically the same cost that you've been paying, but it's worse. So your premiums don't get hit, but your coverage is not as good.
Yeah.
but what I've always done is I have always taken the high deductible plan and then taken the difference between the high deductible plan and the PPO and thrown that into an HSA.
Okay. And for the audience, tell them what an HSA is.
Health savings account. So it's money that's taken out of your paycheck before taxes, and you can only spend it on health related costs. So doctor's visits, medicine, things like that. And you can look up on the website specifically what is and is not, because there's a lot of people that try to fudge what is a health cost versus, and so but so that's what I have always done. It has always made the most sense for me, but for someone who,
it sounds reasonable.
but for someone who is going to the doctor a lot more regularly, has some kind of condition, a PPO plan might make more sense because you pay more for your premiums, but you pay a lot less out of pocket per visit. And so you just weigh the cost benefit analysis and factor in how frequently you're going to be using your insurance and whatnot. A little bit behind baseball when it comes to at least health insurance. What I keep hearing over and over is that usage has been skyrocketing the past couple of years. So people are using their health insurance.
Yeah, they realize they're burning money if they don't. Yeah.
Well, not only that, but people weren't using it in 2020 because they weren't leaving the house.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think people are they're trying to get caught up on stuff, and there's probably a myriad of other factors as well. But there's a lot of health insurance companies that are seriously tightening the belt, and that's part of why they offered the lower version, because I'm sure it's cheaper for them as well. But yeah, the mentality at work right now is they are, at least from what's coming across to me, is they are trying to find reasons to let people go because we're barely making ends meet as it is from an insurance company, and several insurance companies have declared bankruptcy. But that's just a brief side tangent for insurance.
And some insurances have declared billion-dollar profits.
Yes, yeah. Well, and the one that I work for is a not-for-profit, so we're allowed to make a profit, but we aim for like 3 to 5% profit margins.
It's very restricted.
Yeah. And so it's not a non-profit. And I'll let people Google who are curious what the difference is, because quite frankly, I don't fully understand the difference myself. So, but anyway, so so just one thing that you want to know is, when it comes to managing your own health, is know what your coverage is. And sometimes that requires you to either research or call and be like, hey, is this covered? And really get it checked. Because, like, for instance, when I was in college, I had health insurance through the college, and technically preventative procedures were supposed to be covered when you read it, when I read through. And so I have family history of people in my family having colon cancer early, like really early. My grandfather and my sister both had colon cancer in their mid-30s. And so what I was always told is, if you have a history of cancer, especially colon cancer, that you should start screenings up to 10 years prior to the earliest occurrence of close family members. And so when I was in my mid-20s, I tried to have that screening. And the insurance was like, nah, you don't need it. You're only 25. and even though the doctor told them that, no, he should be having it, the insurance, which is ridiculous in my opinion. If it's supposed to be in your coverage and the doctor says, hey, you need it, insurance, you jerks.
Joe, look down. You're standing on a soapbox, bud. Let's bring it back to
how do you play for
So, because that's my soapbox too. It's just hilarious.
but yeah, so know what's covered, know your family history, Because there's a reason why every doctor asks
Yeah.
you about your family history, because it plays a large factor in what you are more likely to run into, especially as you age. And so knowing those will help you prepare for what's to come. I mean, there's going to be curveballs. Everyone has curveballs, but if you've got those two things covered and actually planning for medical emergencies, whether that's through an HSA or just a savings account, you're you're going to want to have something there.
Well, I'll flip that screen. You're not wrong. That is the best way to go. If and a lot of financial people say self insurance is the best insurance, meaning you've got a ton of money and no matter what happens, you can pay for it. That's getting harder and harder to reach in this world. But that's still my goal. So patreon.com/wise_and_nerdy. You can help us self-insure. um, so,
Can
but
we
the reality
please
is,
have
so
an allowance for our medical costs?
yeah, wiseandnerds.com/allowance. Yes. We should, I don't know if these cost any money to do. We should do one that says /insurance. There's been a couple. Maybe we kind of borrow from botched. We don't get a new URL for all the dumb jokes, but we get a new / for all the dumb jokes.
I don't drink coffee, but obviously we need one that's wisenerdies.com/coffee or
Yeah.
tips or
Yeah. So, but okay. So a lot of insurance is sold on fear. Well, the catastrophe, what happens, this and that, I've been in the medical industry for almost 30 years and the fear will get you. I can tell you from being on the paramedic side of it, from using hospitals when I had no insurance, life-saving things will happen for you, period. This, immediate life threats, ERs all day long, this and that and the other. You can get billed and then you just turn around and pay what you can pay. And sometimes there's a form to fill out that they ask about how much is in your bank account. They're working with you on these things. And the court, if they sue you and you fight, the courts will ask for that same exact form. So, but I remember I had insurance. I worked for the hospital that I had my kid at, had insurance through that hospital, and still had to pay a decent amount of money on Oakland's birth. But the second thing is, if you're going to get insurance, balance. It's a game of risk versus reward. They're playing it, you're playing it. It's all gambling. They're gambling that you're going to be healthy the rest of your life, and you're doubling down saying, no, I'm not. And that's what insurance is. I'm sorry, you got me here. Full road. He says, are curveballs covered by my insurance? No, sir. Naughty daddy. Okay.
No, sir. I don't like it.
I don't like it. Crap, he distracted me. I talked about basically you can pay whatever you can pay. Widespread. So it's the biggest deductible that you can afford. And there was a point in time where we had a bunch of money set back specifically for emergencies, so we could take a larger car insurance deductible or a health deductible, whatever. But you will have to pay that, and the companies will bill you for that whenever you use a service. But then look at what is covered. Specific people don't realize ambulance transport. A lot of times, not all the times, a lot of times 911 is covered, but if you got to go from the hospital to somewhere else, not covered. If you develop, and you can develop kidney failure at any age. If you develop kidney failure, need to go to dialysis 3 times a week, and you can't sit in a wheelchair or in a car, it might not be covered. People don't think about those things. They think about the one thing's in front of their face. For you, it was the colon screenings, right? So just be careful is all, because you can make it through.
So you're talking about ambulances being covered versus not. I heard a malicious compliance short not that long ago, like within the past couple weeks, about someone who ran into an issue where none of the ambulance companies in his area were covered by insurance.
Mm-hmm.
But life flight with a helicopter
Oh
was.
no.
And so he said, fine. And he called for the helicopter, and the insurance company was like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, no, you guys don't cover the ambulances, so I want a helicopter.
Yeah.
And they're like, we'll cover the ambulance because
Yeah,
it's
no
way more
kidding.
expensive for them.
Huge.
But yeah, sometimes you can find ways to have malicious compliance with the insurance companies and get them.